Hi Aquarius, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your April 2023 tarot reading. Thanks to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's Celtic Cross Spread as always, and I also pulled the 4 agreements, Wisdom, the Oracle, and Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where you folks should be as far as that goes. Alright, we have Gemini, and Gemini is actually your 5th house of romance, creativity, and children. Astrologically speaking, at the time I'm recording this, Mars has been in there for a really long time, and it's finally going to be moving into Cancer. Aside from that, there's not really going to be much ongoing there, astrologically speaking, but there could be a focus on the 5th house for you guys this month. Alright, we have Pluto, and at the time I'm recording this, it actually hasn't moved into your sign just yet, but it's going to be moving into your sign soon, and it'll be there all of April as well, so it makes sense that we see that come up. And we have 5. So yeah, again, 5th house energy, which like I said for you guys, that's Gemini, so there'll definitely be some focus on romance, creativity, and children, and communication around that as well this month. And I do see Gemini in your spread too, so makes sense. Alright, so with that out of the way, we'll get started with the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Wheel of Fortune, and challenging that, we have the Hangman. So for some of you, going off what we were just talking about with all the 5th house energy we're seeing with the dice and seeing that in the foundation too, I'd just be saying that for some of you, maybe you have a creative idea, right, that's ready to come out into the spotlight. But for whatever reason, you feel like, maybe I just need a little bit more time to tweak it, right? So it could just be one of those things where you might be being nudged energetically to put it out there, but there could be a little resistance on your part, feeling like, I'm not quite sure it's ready to come out just yet. But if it's not just that, it could just be saying that in general, you might be feeling energy where you're feeling that push-pull dynamic of putting yourself out there, but feeling like you still want to integrate something. You feel like you're still learning a lesson from a situation from your past, and you're not quite ready to put yourself out there yet. Alright, in the foundation position, we have the Lovers. So yeah, like I said, we saw a lot of this energy coming out in your dice as well. And we talked about how Mars has been in there for a really long time, and now it's going to be moving into Cancer. But yeah, it could just be saying that for some of you, you're going to have that creative spark come back to you. This could also be saying maybe you need to keep faith around the situation too, right? Because when I look at the artwork here, sometimes this makes me think of something being worked out behind the scenes, right? We see the 2 people there, and behind them looks like there's that angelic figure. So it could just be saying that you have to have a little faith around the situation as well. For some of you, this can represent connecting with another person, whether it be romantically, creatively, you name it. But for a lot of you, I feel like it's just more of having an energy of faith. All right, in the past position, we have the 4 of Cups. So this is a Cancer energy here. Could just be saying that in the past you might have been receiving offers, but they weren't necessarily to your liking. Now, given that Cancer energy points to your 6th house, for some of you this could have been around the work situation, but also with the Cups could also be pointing to romance for some of you as well. But the frustration with the 4 of Cups energy is, if we look at the body language there, right, we see that they're clearly not happy with what's being offered, but at the same time they're taking no action to go after what they do want. So that could have been the cycle you guys might have found yourselves in the past. Alright, in the present position, we have the Magician. So yeah, to me this is saying that you have all the power and all the tools at your disposal that you need in order to create change. So if you wanted to, like I said, if you feel like you were getting offers that weren't necessarily to your liking, this is saying that you have the power to go out there and seek out what you do want, right? But given all the heavy energies you guys have been going through lately, it could just be pointing to why you might be a little bit gun shy around that. But yeah, to me, this is an indicator, along with the Wheel of Fortune, the Lovers, and the Foundation, that you really do have the tools at your disposal to make things happen right now. Alright, in the near future position, we have the 5 of Pentacles. So seeing this here says to me one thing, given that we also see the 4 of Cups in the past. To me, this is saying that if you've been in a situation for some time that just hasn't been satisfactory, I feel like this is saying that keep in mind that, if you continue to stay in that dynamic, it's not necessarily going to improve. So just something to look out for there. But beyond that, this could just be saying that, keep in mind you do have a lot of power within your abilities to change things right now, but it could just be saying that too much stagnation could actually lead to a little bit of a loss. And then I could also see this playing out as saying that if you go too over the top too, then you could actually burn yourself out a little bit. So it's going to be a matter of trying to find a nice balance. All right, in the position of your influence in the situation, we have the King of Cups. So to me, this could just be saying that if this is around career, this could be pointing to the fact that you guys probably have quite a bit of success already. So maybe it's just a matter of perspective in a certain way, right? Where you might need to take a step back and see how far you have come, right? You might not even be in that realization. You might have just been so caught up in the heavy energies with the transits that you guys are going through that you might not have come to the realization that, oh, okay, actually, yeah, I'm further along than I might have realized. Now, for some, this could point to a bit of an isolating energy as well, because I always say that this card reminds me of that phrase "alone on an island," right? Because it looks like they're in the middle of the water there. But yeah, for a lot of you, though, I feel like this is just saying that you have that ability to really push things forward in your career. And again, going back to what I was saying, as far as I felt there could be an energy of balance at play too. If you've been putting too much focus on too much focus on your career energies, then it could just be saying to take a bit of a step back from that as well. All right, in the environment position, we have the Star. So this is actually the Major Arcana card for Aquarius, and I always point out to people that this is the card that comes after the Tower in Tarot. So for some of you, that could be what this is pointing to, right? Maybe you've gone through a Tower moment, and due to that, you're still trying to dust yourselves off a little bit, right? And might be a little unsure of yourselves because of that as well. But I feel like this is saying that this is an indicator that you are on the right path, and you will see indicators of that this month as well. So I'm saying, to me, this says that if you really take a look at your environment, you'll see signs around you that are going to show you that you are on the right path. And that'll give you that confidence you need to take action around the situation. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Four of Swords. So yeah, I'm going to assume that this is probably a hope for a lot of you. And it could just be saying that maybe you are hoping for that healing, right? They hope that you have gone through the correct healing process this time. So yeah, this could be another indicator for some of you who might have gone through some tough times recently. But to see this here to me says that that full moon in Libra is actually going to be important for you guys. The full moon in Libra is going to be right around the end of the first week of April. And it's going to be making an opposition with Chiron, so it's going to be an intense full moon. But if this is around a healing situation, I feel like that's really going to help you, and it's actually going to give you that confidence too. If there is any little missing pieces that you had within the lesson from the past, they will come to the surface for you to integrate. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Ace of Cups. So yeah, to me, this is saying that the new opportunities will be available to you, and it's just a matter of you being ready for them, right? So it's interesting because I'm pretty sure your reading for last month, the title that I gave that reading was Pace Yourself. And the energy I was getting from you guys for that reading was that you were trying to do too many things at once. And now I feel like either we're dealing with a different group of you this time around, or maybe you're just feeling that energy shift to now where it's almost like the message of pace yourself applies again in a way, but almost differently this time, which is to say that if you're too gun shy around something and you just don't feel ready, then it could just be saying to pace yourself in that regard, right? Like, no need to push yourself forward if you're truly not ready. But again, and that's where I was saying I was getting the energy of balance coming out too, right? So try not to go to either end of the spectrum where you're like too hyperactive and trying to do too many things at once, but also try to stay away from, okay, I'm not going to do anything. So that's what I see with that. All right, and bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Cups. So yeah, the message that comes with this card could change for me from time to time, but here I'm getting almost the energy of, well, for one, I won't focus, but to me, the phrase that comes to mind in this context is a fish out of water, right? Because we see that fish in a cup there. And to me, this could just be saying that you might feel like you're out of your element in some way. And like I said, maybe because you have gone through some setbacks recently, but seeing the Magician, the Lovers, the Wheel of Fortune, there's really powerful cards here, and the Star in the environment. Really powerful cards here to say that you are actually ready. Well, let's just say you're equipped to take on whatever you need to when you are ready. Put it that way. It's probably a better way to word it. All right, moving on to your Four Agreements card. We have Don't take anything personally. And it says refuse to eat emotional poison. That's the artwork. Okay, it says taking things personally makes you prey for predators. They can hook your attention with one little opinion and feed you whatever poison they want. Refuse to eat poison. Definitely a pretty positive message there, right? And this does remind me of the fact that there will be a Mercury retrograde coming up in April as well, so be on the lookout for that, right? There's always the potential for crossed wires when it comes to communication there. All right, and moving on to your Wisdom and Oracle card, we have building blocks. There's the artwork, and the number is 28. So let's see what this has to say. Okay, essential meanings says strong foundations, a beautiful work in progress. The Oracle's message: you have everything you need to cultivate an extraordinary life. This is a time when your focus needs to be on the foundations you build upon. Your work, your relationships, and your very being are underwritten by your values, ethics, morals, and core beliefs. Are they still true for you? Will they stand the test of time and serve as the solid grounding upon which you construct your life? Now you are making changes that will affect everything in a positive way. Your destiny is truly a remarkable and beautiful design. So yeah, definitely a pretty positive message there. And reading that definitely made me think of what we were talking about with the magician energy in the present. So hopefully that resonated. All right, the relationship message says when you see this card, know that you are attracting new relationships into your life and solidifying the ones you already have by building them on the foundations of honesty, humility, clear communication, and a genuine desire to know one another. You are moving toward laying the groundwork for a relationship with a firm footing that will ensure it can withstand any storm. Long-standing relationships are also repaired and strengthened. You and the other person are stronger, wiser, and more powerful together than apart. So yeah, again, a pretty positive message there as well. And reading that part about repairing connections, that could be what that magician pointing to the Five of Pentacles is pointing to there, if that is something that you would desire to do. Because to me, the two people are still present in the card, right? So we tend to refer to it as the left out in the cold energy, but to me, it's almost reminds me of the wedding vow in sickness and in health, right? Where we see the people going through a rough stretch, but they're still together. So if there's a desire on your part to repair a connection, that's at play this month as well. Okay, the prosperity message says you have everything you need to turn iron into gold in the alchemical process of creating the prosperous life you desire. Now is the time to build on the strong foundation you have already laid for your prosperity. Keep in mind that these building blocks are imbued with the sparkling energy of your intentions. Own your dream, and remember that you always have more than enough, and you always are enough, so abundance is ever present. Your creativity is divinely inspired, and the design for your life is taking shape in service to the world. You are meant for success. So yeah, definitely a positive message there, and it also, again, made me think of the magician energy when it said, where'd it go? They're imbued with the sparkling energy of your connections, or of your intentions, rather. To me, that's what the magician was talking about there. So hopefully that resonated. And lastly, we have a mudra for you guys. So this is your mudra here. It's the Gada mudra, and the keyword for it is stability. All right, and well, I can't get everything in the frame here, so what I'll do is hold this up for a second if you want to pause it, take a screenshot to read what it has to say, and we'll get the rest of it in the frame. But under benefits, it says improves elimination and tones the organs of the pelvis, treats hemorrhoids and prolapsed organs, strengthens the Muladhara chakra, opens the flow of rising energy up the back of the body, evokes feelings of stability, groundedness, and safety. So if that sounds like a mudra thing to be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name in the description of the video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.